going to be doing a really exciting video, at least I think it's exciting. But I get a lot of questions ever since I came back from Korea about my trip, my experiences, any tips I have, just questions in general about visiting Seoul. So I wanted to make a video for you guys covering a lot of the topics that I get asked a lot in my videos. So this is going to be a Korean trip travel guide for those of you guys who might be traveling to Korea or thinking of it, or just interested in Korea in general. I know a lot of you guys are also interested in my vlogs from my trip in Korea, from my last trip, and I did take a ton of footage, but it's just taking me a little bit of time to sift through the footage. A lot of you guys have been asking me when it's going to be released. It's going to release very, very soon, so I don't want to make you guys any promises, but I do promise you guys that I am working on it. I'm trying to get it out as soon as possible, so it is coming up, and you will be seeing a lot of the different things that I did while I was in Korea, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to share with you guys my trip, so it's kind of like you guys went with me.
I win. I beat all you guys with my selfie stick because I can get above the ground.
Also, because I know you guys are going to ask, because in almost all of my videos, you guys ask me what lipstick I'm wearing on my lips, no matter what lipstick it is. The one that I'm wearing on my lips today is this one from the Mimi Box I'm lipstick line, and it is in ultraviolet, so it looks like this. I have a full blog post on the I'm lipstick line because I have a couple other shades. Put it down in the description box below so you can get a better look at this lipstick and other lipsticks from Mimi Box, but because I know you guys are curious. Another disclaimer that I want to throw out there for you guys is this is all from my own personal experience. I know a lot of you guys have had the opportunity to go to Korea, and your experience and tips might differ from mine. If your experience is a little different than mine, that's great. But definitely leave some tips down below if you guys have any extra tips that I didn't talk about, and we can all help each other out. I'm going to be going over, I believe, 7 different topics in this video. Topics that I think are most relevant to traveling to Seoul, and I am going to be talking about Seoul specifically, and I know that most people who visit Korea are going to Seoul, so this is going to be Seoul. So if I say Korea in this video, keep in mind that I'm actually referring to Seoul specifically. I'm going to be as clear and concise and as informational as possible, so let's go ahead, jump into this video and get started. The first topic that I'm going to be talking about is transportation in Korea. Now, Seoul has an excellent transportation system. It's super efficient, super affordable, and it's just amazing. I've visited a lot of other countries and used their public transportation system as well, but Seoul is by far the cheapest and the most efficient transportation system that I've ever encountered, and on top of that, it is the cleanest. Now, the main way that I got around in Seoul was using the subway. Now, the subway is super affordable. A one-way trip is about $1 to $1.50, so it's extremely, extremely cheap. When I was living in Paris, it was like €7 or something like that from what I remember, to take the subway one way, or the metro one way, and Seoul's is just a lot cheaper, so that's excellent if you're planning on going to a lot of different destinations within the city. Now, one thing I would definitely recommend you get if you're going to Korea and you're planning on using the public transportation system is one of these. Now, this is my city pass. I picked mine up from GS25. You can pretty much find these in almost all convenience stores, I believe, and they're really cheap. This was about 3,000 won from what I remember. Now, what this is a refillable transportation card, so they have little little vending machines in the subway system, and you can refill these with money so that anytime you get on the subway or the bus or take a cab, they have a little sensor that you just put this on top of. It takes the money out of your card and you can just use it everywhere instead of buying those one single trip passes. It's just a lot easier. You save a lot of time instead of having to buy those trip passes every single time you use the subway or taxi or you use the bus. You can definitely download apps to help you navigate the subway system. They're not confusing at all. They're really, really easy to use. I just had a little printout of the subway system and I just used that whenever I was traveling, and it was just super easy and I got pretty much everywhere I needed to go. Now, I did take a taxi a couple times while I was staying in Seoul. Most taxi drivers do not speak any other language besides Korean, so I would definitely recommend having the address written down on a piece of paper that you're going to in Korean to show the taxi drivers so they can input it into their GPS system. Just is a lot easier. Moving on to accommodations. Now, accommodations were very affordable in Korea for me. I used Airbnb for both the times that I went to Korea, so I would definitely recommend just using Airbnb in general. It's really affordable. You can find reviews from other people who have stayed in where you're thinking of staying. You can see pictures, and from my experience, Airbnb is just kind of the easiest thing to use. Hotels can get really expensive, especially in Seoul. So stick to Airbnb. That's definitely what I would recommend. Easiest, cheapest way to do it. Now, a lot of people ask me about language barriers in Korea and if you need to know Korean to get around in Seoul or Korea in general. Now, Seoul, you can definitely find English speakers or Cantonese or Mandarin or Japanese speakers, but any other language than that, you'll have a hard time. Now, even for me, who's obviously an English speaker, the first time I went to Korea, I didn't know really any Korean. I had a little bit of a difficult time communicating with locals, or when I was shopping, a lot of the sales associates didn't know English, or if I was just on the street and needed to ask a question, most people don't know English. Some younger people do. A lot of the older generation just doesn't know English, so there's really no point in trying to communicate with them in any other language but Korean. Now, luckily, my mom went with me both trips, so she speaks fluent Korean, so if I ever had any issues, she was there to help. The second time that I went, I know how to read Korean now, and I know basic communication skills, and I can understand for the most part what people are saying to me in Korean. So that is obviously very, very helpful. So if you're going to Korea, I would definitely recommend at least knowing a few couple phrases in Korean, just because I think in general it's polite when you're going to someone else's country to try and speak in their language. Public toilets. Now, this is something that I just personally was very curious about before I went to Seoul, because I heard all these horror stories, because for some reason there's this weird rumor that Korea doesn't have toilets, like they only have the squat potties. That's just totally not true. There are plenty of Western toilets in Seoul. Maybe if you travel outside of Seoul, you'll see more squat potties, but if you're traveling to Seoul, you don't need to worry about it. You'll find plenty of Western toilets and plenty of squat potties, so whichever one you prefer, you'll find pretty much either. And toilets are very, very easy to find. They have them in the subway systems, they have them in restaurants, they have them in major shopping areas, so you don't have to worry about finding toilets. In the subways, they'll have like half squat potties and then half Western toilets. And by Western toilets, I'm talking about like the sit toilets. I don't know what else to call them besides Western toilets, even though I know they have them all over the world. This is something that I was actually really curious about before going. This is just something that I kind of get concerned about wherever I travel, so I like to know a little bit about the bathroom situation. Now, the food. The food in Korea is amazing, and it's also super, super affordable. I think the most that I ever paid for a meal in Korea when I was like at a nice sit-down restaurant, which was like 15,000 won, so still super cheap, a lot cheaper than it is here in the United States. I could easily eat for like 3,000 won and be perfectly stuffed, whether it was like street food or whether I went and sat down at a restaurant and had like a bowl of noodles. It was super cheap there. The food is super fresh and delicious. If you have an issue with spicy food, you can definitely find alternatives where they don't have spice, even though Korea does have a lot of spicy dishes. So don't worry about that. Food is super cheap, it's plentiful, it is everywhere, there are all kinds, a lot of delicious Korean food, so definitely step outside your barriers, try different things, and you'll be surprised. Maybe you'll find something that you never thought you'd like. just a side note also, I have a lot of videos that I took while I was eating in Korea, so if you're interested in Korean food in general and seeing some food porn, I definitely have some coming up for you guys. So like I said, just be patient. It'll come out and you guys won't be disappointed, trust me. Now, money exchange. Now, obviously, a lot of you guys visiting Seoul will have to use money exchange or exchange your currency into Korean won. Now, I would definitely recommend not exchanging it in the airport. Airports have the worst exchange rates possible. I made the mistake the first time I went and exchanged a couple $100s in the airport for Korean won, and I got ripped off. Like, I just got majorly ripped off. So the best way to do it is try and locate a currency exchange in your home country and exchange it to Korean won. If not, I would recommend going to Korea and finding banks or currency exchanges there, like out in the city. They have a lot of them in major touristy areas. You can always locate either a bank or currency exchange. Another way to go about getting Korean won is using your card. So make sure that you don't have foreign transaction fees or that it's a small transaction fee. And if it does have a transaction fee, just withdraw more money at a time. A lot of the banks will have like a little sign on the ATMs that'll show you that they accept foreign cards. Don't forget to call your bank and let them know that you're using your card in a foreign country, because if not, they'll think it's card theft and they'll cut off your card. So definitely give your bank a heads up that you're using your card in the foreign country wherever you're visiting. A lot of you guys were asking how much money I spent while I was in Korea, and to be completely honest, I can't give you guys an exact dollar amount because like there's money that I spent on food, there's money that I spent on a lot of beauty products. Some of the beauty products were on sale, some of them were 1+1, some of them I split with my mom or I got them as gifts for my family. So I really can't give you guys a dollar amount, and to be completely honest, even if I could, it's not helpful because there are a lot of different variables that are going to go into travels. Everyone's going to be flying from different locations, and the closer you are to Korea, it could cost you a couple $100s. If you're located far like I am, who's in the United States, it can cost you anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. Accommodations, if you want to go stay at a hotel, hotels are going to be more expensive than staying at, say, an Airbnb. Also, the length that you're staying. And some people might be going for a couple days, other people might be going for weeks. Food, some people might be perfectly fine eating cheap and just spending a couple dollars on street food. Other people might want to get the full Korea experience and eat in fine dining. So there are just so many different variables that go into it. You really do have to budget and plan for yourself, so I really can't help you in that aspect. I would definitely just say do your research, like look up how much you plan on spending for your flight, how much you plan on spending as far as accommodations go, however long you're staying, how much you plan on eating, kind of trying to get an estimation on that from a day-to-day basis. And as far as shopping goes, it really just depends on how much you're planning on buying. If you're planning on buying a lot, obviously budget more money. If you're planning on buying a couple products here and there, you won't need to budget as much money. It's just such a personal thing. I would definitely just say you have to do your research. A lot of the big brands have official websites that you can check out and see how much each item costs or how much items cost that you're planning on buying while you're in Korea. Make a list, you know, kind of try and budget it out from there and see how much the products cost online. Like I said, check the official websites. They'll have the products that you're interested in most likely on their websites, and you can just go from there. Okay, so next we're going to be talking about packing. A lot of you guys were totally confused on how I brought all that stuff back with me. I didn't have to pay any extra fees for my baggages. I didn't ship anything back home. I just used my packing system, which I will get down on the floor and show you guys in a second. So actually bringing back all that stuff was no problem for me, and I will explain to you guys how I did that. We're here on my floor. These are the 2 suitcases that I used on both my trips to Korea. How I packed and brought so much stuff back with me is, number one, I packed really, really light. I only took the necessities. I knew I was going to be buying stuff there, so if I could buy it there, I just didn't take it. I just took like necessary personal items like medication, chargers, some clothes, toiletries, that kind of thing, but pretty much everything else, if I really needed it, I bought it in Korea. But yeah, so this is a Samsonite suitcase. It's really big. It's one of the lightweight ones, so it doesn't take up a lot of weight. It's, I believe, 9 pounds. And so how I did this, when I went there, I actually used this other suitcase, which is also Samsonite, and it fits actually really well inside here. So I packed my stuff in this little one, put the little one in the big one, and then just zip this up. And that's how I traveled there. I had a backpack also as my carry-on, and then I had my normal purse because you could stick the carry-on underneath the seat. The purse is considered like your personal item or whatever, and this is my checked bag. So when I came back, I just used both. I pulled this out. All my liquids, skincare, that kind of stuff went into the big one, and I packed it with like clothes to kind of cushion everything, and this got checked. So that one just got checked on the airline. In this one, I packed makeup items, that type of thing. Check with your airline to make sure what's considered liquid items, because I know with some airlines, lipsticks and lip glosses and mascaras are considered liquid. So just to be safe, check your airlines. All airlines are different, so they have different policies. But I just packed stuff in here. This ended up getting checked as well. When I was flying back, for some reason, I got to check 2 bags for free. I think it's because they were trying to limit the amount of carry-on baggage that they had in the planes, because it tends to get really packed with carry-on items. So I actually checked these 2, which was just free. I took the backpack as my carry-on again and my purse. So that's how I got everything back with me from Korea. Anyways, guys, so that was my overall Seoul travel guide. I hope that was helpful for any of you guys who are planning to go to Seoul in the future, or who wanted to just hear more information about Seoul in general. If you guys have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below. Maybe I'll make a part 2 if there are a lot of questions that I didn't answer in this video. But again, if you guys have visited Korea and have your own experiences, feel free to leave in the comment section below. Share with everyone so we can all kind of spread the wealth of knowledge and help each other out. Like I said in the beginning of this video, there are Korean vlog videos coming out, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. They won't disappoint you guys, I hope, and they are a lot of fun, so I can't wait to start releasing them for me to share with you guys. And as always, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and I hope you guys are all happy and healthy as always, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!